Jesse Palmer. I'm Brent Musburger. Thanks for dropping by. We're going to hear from our new sideline reporter, Kaylee Hartung, soon. But let us start, Jesse, with this Clemson offense.
Clemson can win the national championship because of that offense. You mentioned it. They put up 550 yards against Bama in the title game. When I look at their skill positions as a group, I think they're the most talented unit in the country. The receivers, they've got depth. They've got Mike Williams back, a preseason All-American from an injury a year ago. They've got a bruising tailback in Wayne Gallman. But the guy that makes it all go is their Heisman hopeful quarterback, DeShaun Watson, and he's the best in the country. First player ever in FBS last year. Throwing for over 4,000, running for over 1,000. He can hurt you in a myriad of ways. He's accurate throwing the ball at all three levels of the defense. He's dangerous running it in design plays or in scrambles. Nick Saban this offseason said he's the single most dominant player they've played since Cam Newton. So that's all you've got to know about DeShaun Watson, and that's all you've got to know about this Clemson offense.
And Kaylee, it took a while, but sophomore Shaun White has been named Auburn's starting quarterback.
Hey there, Brent. Glad to be with you both. Now, you wouldn't think that a guy who went 3-3 last season, threw just 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions, could make an argument to be Auburn's starting quarterback, but that's what Shaun White has done, and all the doubt that those stats evoke is one of the reasons why this staff believes in him. They know he's been doubted at every stage of his football career, and every time he's rebounded to prove the doubters wrong.
Well, Auburn won the toss, and they will defer. So we're going to see this high-powered offense to start. And Artavis Scott, one of the fine wide receivers, number 3, is back deep to return this kickoff. There is Daniel Carlson, one of the best field goal specialists in the land, will put it down. Gus Malzahn, I'll be eager to find out what he has and maybe what he doesn't have here tonight. The quest begins. Scott bubbles, will take a knee. It'll come out on the 25-yard line. And here comes the man, junior from Gainesville, Georgia, number 4. And Jesse, one of the leaders in the clubhouse in the early going for that Heisman Trophy. But with everything that's been going on around college football, Clemson better be careful.
Yeah, got to be careful. Can't come sleepwalking into Jordan-Hare. But I agree with you, Brent. What an opportunity to kick off the Heisman campaign here at night at Jordan-Hare Stadium in a hostile environment on national television.
Wayne Gallman, his 1,500-yard rusher. Number 9 will line up behind him. Jay Guillermo over the ball, will snap it. And Watson keeps it butt. There was a false start. So one of those little mistakes, Jesse, that can start to add up, as we saw in Knoxville on Thursday with Tennessee.
Yeah, listen, you can practice crowd noise all you want back home at the friendly confines near Memorial Stadium and in practice, but until you're here living it in Jordan-Hare, this is one of the loudest venues in the entire country. It's certainly something that all head coaches worry about in their first game, those mental mistakes.
From the gun, Gallman pounds behind the right side, hit by a host of Auburn Tigers. Big Carl Lawson. Jesse, let's talk about number 55. He was in on that stop. Such a key man.
Yeah, listen, and when I look at this game, the one place I feel Auburn has the advantage tonight is that D-line versus Clemson's offensive line. They're led by number 55, Carl Lawson, who's finally healthy, and when he is, he's a first-round talent.
2nd and 11, tosses the slant to Scott, short of the first down, and it's 3rd down. Javaris Davis, one of the Davises in that secondary. This number 31 makes the stop. Carlton Davis on the other side. He wears number 6. Here's your first 3rd down for this hyped offense. Scott, bingo, cross midfield. Great reception on Scott's part. His vision was tremendous as he turned back toward that pass.
And it was a great read by DeShaun Watson. He had the one-on-one matchup outside with his roommate, Artavis Scott. Tight coverage on that play by Carlton Davis, but he back shoulders the throw.
DeShaun, though, looks the other way, and that should have been intercepted. Jonathan Ford hit him in a weak spot right between the numbers, huh?
Yeah, DeShaun Watson was looking for Deion Kane in the slot on a slant route, and he overthrew this ball. And I think it surprised Rudy Ford. Check this out again. It kind of comes out high, and all of a sudden it was right on top of Rudy Ford. If he could have caught that, I think that was a pick six.
Second down. How about the neon light here tonight and this down marker at Auburn? I'm looking across the field at it on both sides. That should help the players. Gallman bounces back to the right side. Watson helps him lead the way. Lawson finally gets him down short of the first down. Third down.
This Auburn defense has a lot of youth and a lot of inexperience, and this is a critical down right here early in this game to get a win. They understand the juggernaut that they're up against tonight, but they need to have positive plays happen early to gain confidence in this game.
Third down and 5. Watson checks over to the sideline. The coaches upstairs have looked at the defensive alignment. Defensive coordinator now switches his linebackers. Checkers game continues. Third and 5. Watson, a fine runner, now dumps it off, but he threw behind Gallman, and it is fourth down.
And that's a break the Auburn defense needed. It brings some pressure. They're stunning and twisting up front. They forced DeShaun Watson up. He has an open Gallman. If he could have caught that, that would have for sure been a first down. Looks like now the Clemson offense going to stay on the field, maybe outside the range of kicker Greg Hugel. You've got to have great rush discipline here with DeShaun Watson and make sure he's contained.
The corners press up. 4 receivers. Diamond on the left. From the pocket, incomplete, and it's Auburn football. DeShaun Davis, one of the 3 Davises. This one, number 57 on that defense, makes the play.
And DeShaun Davis was sitting back at his linebacker position, spying DeShaun Watson. He was going to chase after him. If he took off scrambling, he just had his eyes on the quarterback. DeShaun Watson's eyes took him all the way to the throw. Big play for this young Auburn defense early to build confidence.
And here is Sean White, Boca Raton, Florida. Starts the motion. Kerryon Johnson and Truitt lined up in the backfield. A wide receiver. You know, they have lost so much at running back, so much production. When you consider that Brock Thomas transferred to Jacksonville State, Javon Robinson was kicked off the team. Barber jumped to the NFL. So right away on first down, they line up a wide receiver up behind the quarterback. There he is again, number 10. So here comes Cox back into the backfield. Johnson to the 31-yard line.
And Brent, I think the thing I'm most disappointed in Auburn's offense right now is the tempo or lack of tempo. You know, Gus Malzahn wants to push the pedal down. It's just been very, very slow getting set up at the line of scrimmage.
1 first down, 19 yards of offense, and they're burning timeouts. Jesse, how about those festivities? How about those parachuters coming down? 4 of them in the middle.
Yeah, they just kept coming, didn't they?
You're going to do that for Good Morning America? Is that
I hope not.
Johnson's back now, firing complete. And there's their best offensive play of the game. Will Hastings. So it is Jeremy Johnson who has taken over here as quarterback, bringing a little life into this offense, and that was a fine throw. First down and 10. Terrific defense at the point of attack.
Yeah, it's Carlos Watkins again on the inside of that line. He's a preseason All-American, number 94, and you can see why. If there's a one-on-one matchup, he is so strong at the point of attack, and in pass rushing downs, he's too good of a pass rush in a one-on-one situation. So Auburn's going to have to start to work some double teams on him. trying to get him to move.
Second down at 9. Johnson quickly checks the sideline. Now he's got to go to work. Got a great arm. That's Davis to the 40-yard line.
Jeremy Johnson can make the wow throw. And that was an example right there. He's throwing the backside skinny post. And he has to get it there before linebacker number 10, Ben Boulware, can get outside. That is just a laser, and he puts it right in the body of his wide receiver.
Back quickly now, and the tempo starts to pick up. The running attack, and Dexter Lawrence, folks, for Clemson. Number 90. This is one of the most ballyhooed young defensive linemen in the country. Only a freshman from Wake Forest, North Carolina. They have told us that he can flat move for his size. On a goal line offense inside the 5, you'll see him line up as one of the blocking backs. What a tremendous future he has for the Tigers. Second down and 7. Giving it to Johnson. And this will be about a 3rd down now and 6.
But I do think, if I'm Gus Malzahn, I'm leaving Jeremy Johnson in the game now for a couple of series because he's given a spark to this offense. They finally look like they have a rhythm until that play.
Hastings has been working well out of the slot. Johnson steps up, fires too high, and that would mean Daniel Carlson will trot out of the field, attempting to give the Tigers of Auburn their first lead here tonight. Carlson a year ago was 23 of 27, made every one of his 40 extra points. He's a junior out of Colorado Springs. He's got NFL written all over. Here we go. On its way, 53 yards. And the underdog strikes first. What a weapon. In a close game, money in the bank for Gus. Starting to look like an offense. Here comes Carlson again. Clemson deep man is about 3 yards in the end zone. The wide receiver, Scott. Hangs it high, right at the goal line. He's coming out. What a tremendous kickoff. Oh, man, what a weapon. They'll start from about the 15 or 16-yard line. First down for DeShaun Watson and the Tigers. Scott comes over to the right side of the formation. Line holds low, and reception Williams first. Welcome back, Mike Williams. Suffered a broken bone, small one in his neck, when he collided with an upright last year.
Nice job getting down to the ground and securing that catch, getting the hands under it, putting in his body. Nice job.
You can see the respect that Javaris Davis was giving him. Quarterback draw again all the way for Watson, who's an outstanding runner, and he's short of that 30-yard line.
And Brent, Mike Williams makes this Clemson offense so much more dangerous. He's got the speed on the perimeter of the field to just run right by a corner, take the top off of defense, but it's 6'3", 225 pounds. He can also climb the ladder and win those 50-50 balls in the air. He is a nightmare for DBs to have to worry about.
Second and 9 for Clemson. Watson going back to him for the first down, doing a terrific job. And that time they put Carlton Davis over there, the veteran defensive back, and this is a fine play.
Yeah, and that's what I'm just talking about right now. Carlton Davis is Auburn's biggest, most physical corner, but he's no match for the body and the strength that Mike Williams has.
First down and 10. Here comes Gallman pounding away. He was taken down by Matthews. Excuse me, Jeff.
That's okay, Brent. When Clemson starts to roll and they can start distributing the football to Mike Williams outside, and Wayne Gallman at running back, and Jordan Leggett at tight end, and Octavius Scott, there's just a myriad of problems spread out all over the field that Kevin Steele, Auburn's defensive coordinator, has to worry about.
Such a poised offense when you've got a veteran and a player like Watson. Hit, escapes. Going to get the first down as he steps across it and out of bounds. I thought he was going to get clubbed down by the defensive front. Adams was in on top of him.
And you talked about a poised offense, Brent, but what about poised by the quarterback? DeShaun Watson, he gets pawed in the face by Adams right there. Doesn't lose the football, doesn't lose his cool. Just shuffles to his left, and there you see the speed off to get the first.
Now first down at the 35-yard line, trailing by a field goal. Here comes Gallman behind some of the big ones, cuts back, makes the most of it to the 26-yard line. Nick Ruffin, one of the safeties. Again, it's back there at that safety position. Let's remember that Stephen Roberts was suspended. He was a starting safety from Auburn, and there's no question that Kevin Steele's going to miss him back there. Second down and 2. They show pressure. Watson stands in, delivers a strike. How about that for accuracy? Going back to Williams.
And again, the catch radius and the target. It's a skinny post, and it's in a lot of traffic. And DeShaun Watson actually rolled that football beautifully over top of a linebacker right into the breadbasket.
It'll be a first and goal.
And Brent, here's an area where DeShaun Watson's legs become very, very dangerous. It's normally inside the 10-yard line that you see him keep these footballs. Makes it very, very dangerous to stop with 2 weapons in the backfield.
Pounded straight ahead with the running back, and again that front. Deshaun Davis, number 57, is a man at that middle linebacker spot.
Really impressed with how he's playing here tonight. Really getting his first start, only a sophomore, but he's been physical. He's been playing downhill and just making plays for this Auburn D.
Brings a second down and goal. There's Watson, running ability. Down by the 1-yard line, and that'll bring up a third and goal.
And if I'm Clemson, I'm just going right back to that again, using Wayne Gallman as an extra blocker and getting the bonus. DeShaun Watson just seems to have a knack for finding creases. He's got such good feet, change of direction.
Now Watson on a quarterback draw, he might walk in. Third down and goal. Brings Scott behind the formation. Going to give it to Gallman. Pounds ahead. Stopped by that defensive front. So now Dabo Sweeney with the decision. You're inside of the 1-yard line. Why not go for it?
Safety Trey Matthews.
Here comes some big fellas onto the field now.
Wow.
Here comes Lawrence. You see from behind him. It's fourth down and goal. It's that jumbo look. Lawrence is the left blocker. Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to go to the right. Gallman behind it, and he walks in. Talk about a load when the big fellas line up.
Well, Brent, they brought in 2 defensive linemen on that play. Christian Wilkins, number 42, lined up in the backfield, and it was Lawrence, the true freshman, who went in motion. And really, Leggett at tight end was the one that sealed the edge, but behind 640 pounds of D linemen, nothing Auburn can do. That's a walk-in.
There's one thing going through Gus Malzahn's mind right now. Field goals are great, but you will not beat this Clemson offense with field goals.
I'll tell you what, there's something going on in Kevin Steele's mind around the defensive coordinator. How do I cover Mike Williams? What do I have to do? That's a problem right now.
Williams with 3 catches and 51 yards on that drive. 84-yard scoring drive in 13 plays, and they're the big fellas. Hey, that reminds me of the refrigerator. That's what Perry did. He played for Clemson. Oh, that's a lot of muscle coming at us. And Alabama's pouring it on, and they have found a quarterback. We're going to show him to you right after this kickoff. We're going to go to the studio. Pulls that one. Okay. That's a penalty of Bruce. Down of bounds. First down and 10. Jeremy Johnson, in case you just checked in, 3 of 4 on their last field goal drive. He's taken over as the quarterback. Here's a quarterback draw, tripped up. And the big fella still gained about 3 yards.
So since Jeremy Johnson's been in and stayed in, this offense has been sparked a little bit. They've had some quarterback run success, but really it's been because of his arm. Gus Malzahn has to stay with him.
Sean White started. John Franklin also played. Johnson sacked.
Guess who?
There is that big freshman Dexter Lawrence, run blocking for the touchdown. He is an All-American looming.
He's just a natural, Brent. He understands how to use leverage and how to use his hands. Brent Venables saw that on tape watching him in high school. Just watch him down here at the bottom, one-on-one, and just too big of a body, and the quickness to get up on Jeremy Johnson quickly and the strength to drag him to the ground.
3rd down and 19.
You got to expect pressure here if you're Jeremy Johnson. Brent Venables loves to dial it up on 3rd.
Here they come. Got him again at the 15. 4th down, forced a punt.
Christian Wilkins, who's normally a defensive tackle, playing defensive end in this game because Austin Bryant, their best pass rusher, is out with a foot injury. He's a great athlete. Remember, he caught that fake punt against Oklahoma. He's out here again just working off the right tackle, Robert Leff, who's now given up 2 straight sacks on 2 straight plays. And Clemson's defense has found a weakness up front for Auburn, and they're exploiting it.
That's McLeod back deep. Kevin Phillips to punt it for Auburn. McLeod signals fair catch at midfield. Good field position for DeShaun Watson. What a wonderful story about DeShaun and his mom. And so happy to see that DeShaun's mother's here. We'll tell you that story when you come back. Deanne Watson, DeShaun's mother. And what a wonderful job she's done living in a very, very tough neighborhood. She was able to move DeShaun into a Habitat for Humanity home where he could be raised away from the gang violence, drug-infested neighborhood, gave him the best opportunity. She was stricken with cancer of the throat, had much of her tongue removed. She was able to survive the toughest battle of all. She has not missed a game in over a year now. And Watson's got Williams again. You know that he wants number 7. And we welcome back that young man who suffered that neck injury.
Yeah, it's too hard to cover. The back shoulder throw is virtually impossible for a cornerback that has his head turned. And how many times early in this first half has we've seen DeShaun Watson complete these back shoulder throws? I always thought that was one of the hardest throws to complete. DeShaun Watson making it look easy.
Closing in on 100 yards here in the first half. 83 yards already. Here is some more. Man is lighting up the Auburn secondary. That's his 6th catch of the first half.
And he's got these cornerbacks guessing right now. We've seen he's made a lot of plays to the perimeter outside between the numbers and the hash. And that's where these cornerbacks, and Javaris Davis thinks he's going. Then he puts his foot in the ground and runs the slant inside. Totally turns Davis around. That's an island right now that none of these corners want to be on. It's become Mike Williams' island.
4 plays for 59 yards. Getting Richard set. He replaced Leggett. Pounding back with Gauman. When you think about DeShaun Watson and you go back to that championship game, it is mind-boggling that he had 478 total yards against Alabama.
And they weren't supposed to get a first down. Remember? Everybody kept talking about that front 7 for Alabama and all the different NFL prospects they had. And that was almost like a Vince Young-esque performance by Watson.
2nd down and 7. Pump fake. End zone. Williams couldn't quite hang on. Decent coverage by Holsey. Holsey's defended him pretty well over there a couple of times.
Yeah, he has. And this looked like it was going to be a catch by Williams. And it was Holsey that got his hands in between Mike Williams and batted this ball away. Watch this. It's a perfect throw by Watson. Extended. Look, the hand kind of comes in and forces him to bobble it. You're right. I think the one guy that seems to have done the best against Mike Williams, it might have been a little bit of a push-off there. But Holsey, good play.
Here's your 3rd down.
You got to identify where big number 55 is right here.
Watson's going to take off. And you know who was helping close in from behind on that play. That's DeShaun Davis, also number 57.
Another big win for this Auburn defense. They're going to force a field goal here and go in at halftime down 7. I think you'd say that was a pretty good scenario for Gus Malzahn and Auburn heading into this game.
So Greg Hugel hit 27-32. On for his 30-yard attempt.
He was the most field goals in the country last year. This guy was virtually automatic.
Pulls it to the left, but through. And it's a 7-point lead. And so it is 10-3 Clemson. So it's the BMW halftime report. Adnan Virk, Joey Galloway, Danny Cannell. Take it away, Adnan.
Well, Coach, despite all the external expectations put upon this team all week long, you made a point of saying there were a lot of unknowns. What did you learn through one half?
Well, we're playing very well defensively. Really like you know, how our guys are executing, and offensively we're moving the ball. We've kind of found a little bit of a rhythm outside of a disastrous little start of that 2-minute right there, but we just got to finish a couple more plays. We've been really close, and you know, especially the first quarter, we moved it, didn't really have any 3-and-outs. We just didn't finish the drives, but hey, we'll get in here. It's a tough, you know, it's an opening game. This is a great environment, good football team we're playing. Hey, we're lucky to be up. We got a lot of work to do second half.
Now that you feel like your offense found that rhythm, what do you need to see to continue it?
Well, we got to keep the running game going, first of all. That's where it starts for us. And then, you know, just continue to get the ball to playmakers, take care of the ball. You know, had a big turnover. We were in scoring position, and that turnover was costly right there, probably cost us points. So just take care of the football. Don't help them, make them play on a long field.
Thank you, Coach.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got a competitive score, certainly, 10-3. Clemson leading Auburn. Jesse Palmer, that's a misleading score. We talk about the Clemson offense all the time, but the Clemson defense is pretty good, too.
I think that's really the story right now in this game. They've held the Auburn Tigers at just 38 total yards, 1 yard rushing. They've only run 23 plays. I've been really impressed by this unit that has 8 new starters. They're dominating at the point of attack. Up front on the defensive line, they're creating penetration in the run game. They've sacked Auburn quarterbacks twice now. Those numbers on the right, that's the bad news for Auburn. But the good news is, you just kind of mentioned, Brent, they're only down 7 points. I think for Auburn to get back in this game offensively, they've got to pick a quarterback, stick with them, but they've got to get back to running the football.
10-3 as we get ready to start. Auburn will handle the ball with the first series, having deferred after they won the opening coin toss. To the goal line, Jonathan Ford reaches down. Penalty flag as he breaks free out to the 45.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 27. The penalty is half the distance. First down.
And let us check in down below with Kaylee Harton. Kaylee?
Well, guys, we thought that we could see all 3 of Auburn's quarterbacks earlier in this game. We didn't realize how early it would be, as by the end of that second series, we saw all 3. Gus Malzahn just told me that was the plan all along. He now feels like they've figured out what they need to do. It comes down to execution. But as Gus told us coming into this game, his biggest question was, how would this team respond to adversity? Now's the time to learn that.
And Kaylee, no surprise seeing number 6, Jeremy Johnson, jog onto the field. They've been, I think, the most successful running and throwing when he's been in the game.
Kerryon Johnson is the running back. He's number 21. Jeremy Johnson, 3 of 4.
Wow.
And Kerryon hit in that backfield for a loss. He's back by the 2-yard line. Clemson's D, led by Farrell, they're starting to dominate up front.
Yeah, they are, and that's Cleveland Farrell that makes the play in the background. Again, they've been living in Auburn's backfield so far in this game, especially in the run game. I think about half the runs Auburn's run, they've been made contact in the backfield by Clemson D-line. Look at that, 8 of 14 design run plays Contact behind the line of scrimmage.
All right, Franklin has also gone in the little trickeration as they took Jeremy Johnson out, and there's nothing doing as Chandler Cox.
The second time they've tried running that play.
snap.
Yeah, and Carlos Watkins, number 94, again, able to get penetration. Auburn's offensive line has just been overwhelmed, and in particular by the interior of this Clemson D line. Carlos Watkins, we've seen the true freshman Dexter Lawrence making plays. Christian Wilkins. And now here you have a 3rd and long backed up. You've got to have a plan here at quarterback. If you're Jeremy Johnson, you cannot hold on to this football because Clemson has been in the backfield all night.
Going to run it out, try to give the punter a little daylight here.
Just really impressed with Clemson's defense. They're just fitting. There are a bunch of guys out there that haven't played in a lot of games. The defensive line is eating up blocks the way they are and getting pushed. It just opens up lanes for linebackers and DBs to fit up into. Brent Venables, we talked about it. 2nd straight year, he's had to replace 8 starters. His unit right now playing lights out.
So McLeod, the punt returner, figures to give DeShaun Watson tremendous field position here. He's got a fair catch at the Auburn 45-yard line. And so DeShaun comes out 11 of 19 tonight for 148 yards. Has not yet thrown a touchdown pass nor an interceptions. He's also carried 7 times for 23 yards. So a very short field.
And he kind of found his groove, I think, there in the 2nd quarter. Early in the game, missed a couple of open throws that I think could have been big plays, but he started finding big number 7, Mike Williams, and that was sort of a security blanket. Since then, he hasn't missed very much.
Number 57, Deshaun Davis, signaling, moving defenders around. He's played very well defensively. Gallman, and keeping it was Watson after the fake, and challenging him on the sideline is Nick Ruffin, who was shaken up. Good to see here that he's back on the field, so it'll be 2nd down.
So if I'm defensive coordinator Kevin Steele for Auburn, I've seen enough of Mike Williams now. He already has over 100 yards receiving. I would double him every play and trust in my defensive line to start controlling the line of scrimmage to slow down this Clemson rushing attack. I do not want to die a fast death through the air to Mike Williams. Take your chances with your D-line.
Carlton Davis has him. DeShaun looks the other way and underneath to the 39, and Hunter Renfrow, first catch of the game. With the injury to Williams last year, Renfrow stepped up big, especially in that national championship game. He caught 2 touchdown passes early against the Crimson Tide.
Really in the playoffs, he had 3 TD catches. He had another big one against Oklahoma in the semifinal. Just a guy that has a good feel for working in soft spots and zone coverage over the middle of the field.
3rd down and 5. Here comes pressure. Watson stands, delivers. Williams, what a great catch. Juggles it and comes down with the football. Big time.
What got this play off, though, was Wayne Gallman at running back, giving him time in pass pro. You see there, Carlton Davis draped all over Mike Williams, but we talk about the catch radius and the big body, able to shield guys off and long arms, and able to make that catch.
So here's the snap, and DeShaun will come back, give it to the big fellow who protected him that time. Gallman's had another fine day. Carried it 17 times for the Tigers here tonight, who lead it by 7.
We talked about him, Brent, getting stronger as the game goes on. 17 carries and counting. This is generally the time in games that he can wear defenses out.
Carlton Davis backs off now. This receiver package going to go deep to the end zone. Williams pushing, catches out of bounds, and drops it. And that was Carlton Davis. It was interesting to see him back away. Thought that DeShaun might take a shot. That was the call.
That was phenomenal coverage that time by Carlton Davis. I was glad to see a no call here. There was definitely some contact going on, but Carlton Davis turned his head around to locate the football, and that's a good no call. We talked about Carlton Davis. He was injured earlier. Good to have him back on the field. Again, he's their best chance to match up mano-a-mano with number 7, who's now out of the game.
Got Nick Ruffin up over the top. Gave him a double team on that time with the safety. You can see DeShaun Davis creeping up on this 3rd and 7. Firing back to incomplete. So that time it was Jonathan Ford was over on the coverage against Renfro.
The defense has held up their part of the bargain in this game so far. It's now time for Auburn's offense to wake up. Help get this crowd back in the game and do their part. Completely one-sided from Auburn tonight.
Blythewood, South Carolina. Greg Hugel. It's already kicked 1 field goal here this evening. Ooh. Pulls this one through.
That was a great hole.
40-yard field goal attempt.
A high snap, and Seth Ryan able to get that football down. Nice job.
David Estes was the long snapper, and the coach actually had a word for him as he came over to that side. Great job, as you pointed out, by Seth Ryan from Summit, New Jersey. Auburn set to receive. Well, it has not been an easy task filling this man's shoes. Cam Newton had to beat Clemson in overtime to preserve that early, Jess.
Yeah, listen, Cam Newton's a once-in-a-generational type player, and there have been many guys that have had to take over. Barrett Trotter and Clint Mosley, Kyle Frazier and Jonathan Wallace. I think Nick Marshall probably did the best job of all of them. He was once a defensive back at Georgia, now playing DB in the NFL. And we have yet to see how Jeremy Johnson and Sean White's future will turn out, but difficult to live up.
Now we're going to try Franklin. John Franklin's number 5. He's the JC transfer. Got the ball into Johnson's hands, and one of the few times tonight we've had a great looking run from scrimmage. They want the penalty flag, and they're going to get it.
Yep.
Late hit over here on the sideline, so that'll give this team a little bit of a lift. Now if Franklin can run this read option that Malzahn draws up, maybe they'll get something going.
15-yard penalty, first down.
John Franklin, I think, probably has the greatest upside from a physical standpoint of all these quarterbacks. You're going to see right here, number 6, Dorian O'Daniel. He just comes in way late. He tried to hold up at the last second, but that's the right call. Offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley right there. There's an explosive play finally for this Auburn offense.
Moves the ball across midfield now for Auburn, and there is Franklin on the read, handing off again to Kerryon Johnson. Now the one thing that Clemson defenders are doing, they're freezing a little bit on this because they know how fast Franklin is. John Franklin might be, I want to say might be, the fastest man on this Auburn team, we've been told. This is starting to open up things. Let's see what happens when Franklin gets a chance to run it. Handing off, doing a very good job. Number 5 is patient. He's letting that in commit.
Now, he was a backup quarterback at Florida State, went to JUCO, East Mississippi Community College, and here he is at Auburn. You're right, Brent. He's the fastest of all the quarterbacks. Coaches told me he's faster than Nick Marshall. He's got a very strong arm, but his accuracy at times is inconsistent. Now they're making another quarterback change, and you can hear the boos now coming from the crowd. When they've got something good going, they don't seem to want to stick with that quarterback.
Second down and 8. Not as much. You gotta answer me a question. Why would you make that change, Jesse? Why would you do that right there?
Yeah, see, personally, I would. Easy for me to stay standing all the way up here. Gus Malzahn's a much brighter offensive mind than I am, but I know one thing: when I'm moving the chains with one guy, I'm not taking him out.
Johnson gonna fire. Got a man open, intercepted, picked off beautifully in the middle of the field. Jadar Johnson.
Pressure from Scott Pagano, defensive line, forced Jeremy Johnson not to be able to set his feet. It looked like he had a wide open receiver in Marcus Davis. But Jadar Johnson, one of those new DBs, replacing NFL talent, comes over and hawks us. Watch Johnson, he's not able to get his feet set quite. Throws a little bit off balance, it's high. And Johnson comes over and just high points this football. And again, Brent, you keep changing quarterbacks. There's no rhythm on the offense. Things are going well that time. There with John Franklin, you bring in Jeremy Johnson. 2 plays later, turnover.
Choice is now the running back for the Tigers. Let's talk again about this Clemson offensive line. Mitch Hyatt, Taylor Hearn, Jay Guillermo, Tyrone Crowder, Jake Morgan. They've been in a battle tonight. That's a very, very good Auburn defensive front. And they have rounded out 89 rush yards and 166 passing for Clemson here tonight. But they've had their hands full, that offensive line, with this front. You can see that right there. You see the penetration that those big fellas are getting for Auburn. And
well,
Jess, I'm not sure that I've ever seen the quarterback position managed quite like I've been watching here tonight. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, no, it's frustrating. It's frustrating for these Auburn fans as well. Because the defense right now, I mean, they're back on the field again. They're not getting a chance to break. And they're making plays themselves, keeping this team in the game. But they need the offense to carry their own weight. I think a big part of that is just sticking with one guy.
3rd and 6 now. Here comes the defense. Floats one outside. Intercepted. Picked off by Holsey. What a fine game he's played. Defended Williams twice in the end zone. Now they got some field position. Now what are we going to come over here on offense?
And yet again, the defense bailing out the offense. We were just talking about that. You mentioned it. Holsey's been the best secondary player tonight. That started with pressure up front for Auburn, getting back to DeShaun Watson. Going to be coming from the right-hand side. That's Carl Lawson beating the left tackle Hyatt around. And just a great job of the cornerback getting his head turned around, locating the football. Carl Lawson doing a nice job not slamming DeShaun Watson, potentially getting a roughing the passer pass. John Franklin now back in the game. If you're Clemson, you got to be anticipating zone read. They got him lined up right now at running back.
Yeah, they go to Cox on a direct snap. 34-yard line, 33. Now it will be 2nd down.
I got to imagine at some point, with all these quarterbacks crouched in these running back spots and they're faking handoffs to them, at some point there's going to be a play where Chandler Cox hands off to one of the quarterbacks and they throw it. We've seen that formation and that play multiple times now, and I think Clemson's got to be careful.
Sean White in at quarterback here on 2nd and 8. Quick pitch to the outside for the 1st down. Beautiful read by White. Ryan Davis from St. Petersburg, Florida. And he's down in the red zone. Can Auburn finish this drive?
You're exactly right, Brent. You just looked, that was supposed to be a run play. He just looked out and saw Ryan Davis uncovered and spit it out to him. He's got it again here if he wants it at the top.
Come back with carry on. And pounds down to the 15-yard line. Dexter Lawrence, the freshman. And we've still got an entire quarter to go. If Auburn can strike, remember they're an underdog in this game, we could have some 4th quarter coming up. It's 13-3. It's an uneasy lead for the number 2 team in the nation. You are looking live for the clash of the Tigers. And we're tied. Got it long enough. And he puts Auburn up by 3. Auburn wins it in overtime. And for Cam Newton, that gave them a chance to move on and win a national championship. And that night he came back after a really bad first half, finished 7 of 14, 203 yards. Gus Malzahn was the offensive coordinator. Gene Chizik was the head coach that night. So here we go, 2nd down and 7. Franklin, remember, had checked in as the quarterback. That read option look, and Kerryon Johnson, just seeing number 5 back there, has opened up huge holes for Kerryon Johnson. But one of these times, won't be coming up next. He's coming over to the sideline.
Yeah, the issue that I think Auburn has in the red zone in these sorts of situations, especially a wide receiver, they don't have a lot of big bodies that can go up and make those tough catches. See one of these big formations again with the quarterback crouching at running back.
Now they shift. Cox coming around, play action, going to drop it off. Nothing doing here. It is 4th down. You're down by 10 points. I'm going to raise the here comes the field goal unit. You want to get yourself back into one score here.
Yeah, and earlier, I understand what Gus Malzahn was trying to do, but I think he's even surprised at how well his defense is playing in this game. And exactly, you're right. Make this a one-possession game now. Just see what happens. You've accomplished your goal. Deep water in the 4th quarter.
Big 32-yarder. Trailing by 1 score. Can the defense get the ball back? And can the Auburn offense strike for a touchdown? The crowd can stay in this one now. 1 score down, 4th quarter. This great Clemson offense has not been able to separate. Play action, Watson rolls under pressure, steps away from it. And a reception by Renfro for about an 8-yard gain. So it will be 2nd down and 2 if you're interested in Watson's stats. 13 of 25, 166, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. The running back Gallman has the only touchdown in this game. 2nd down and 2. Firing short. What a great tackle that time. Number 49 comes up big again for the defense. Darrell Williams on Kane.
Yeah, these linebackers for Auburn have just been flying around, being physical this entire game, sideline to sideline, laying hats. Here's a huge 3rd and short. We talked about this defensive line for Auburn being the strength of their team. Big down right here. This would swing momentum way back in their favor. This crowd would go off.
Kevin Steele's defense holding its helmets high, but this is a toughie at 3rd and 1. Watson communicates with his running back. Got the slash hole, and it is 1st down for Clemson. And Watson gave him the right advice there, didn't he, folks, when he turned to him?
Yeah, and DeShaun Watson just makes really good decisions. And it's not just not throwing interceptions or taking care of the football or reading coverages. It's in the run-pass game, in the zone read game, audibling at the line of scrimmage.
A little bit of an option toss to Gallman, trying to get outside, and you can see that tough tackling again, and that's Matthews, one of the safeties.
DeShaun Watson is just a football junkie. He's got tremendous football IQ, and that shows up on tape, and it shows up here on the field. It's not necessarily always in the statistics, but like you just saw in that last play, audibling, getting the offense into the right look.
On 2nd and 5, got time, deep, complete to Williams. Into the red zone, the leading receiver, as they have welcomed back Mike Williams from Vance, South Carolina, and Lake Marion High School. That's a 34-yarder.
And that might be the 6th back shoulder throw we've seen between these two. They said basically all throughout camp, Mike Williams had won about 90% of the 50-50 balls. DeShaun Watson had thrown them. They just have a very good chemistry together. And Watson does a really nice job reading Williams' body language and knowing where to put the football to give his big target a chance.
Gallman picks up 2 yards, so it's 2nd down and 8. Quick flip now to the outside. That's Artavis Scott. There's the penalty flag.
Oh. And Trey Matthews has played too much football.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 28. Half the distance. 1st down.
He's got to know better than that. The Georgia transfer, he's made some big plays here in this game tonight. But he's got to keep his cool in this situation. Yeah, Artavis Scott, he's leaning over him, flexing on him a little bit, but you can't have that from an upperclassman at this juncture in the game. Gus Malzahn can't believe it.
And that makes it 1st down and goal. Play action incomplete in the end zone.
Oh.
Davis, that Carlton Davis that time, number 6, making a good play in the end zone.
Brent, no, he didn't break it up. Mike Williams, sorry, just dropped that ball. This is right in his hands. Carlton Davis got beat on the slant. Watch this route. It's a good one by Mike Williams. Ball's right out in front. That's just dropped.
Second down and goal after the drop. Watson, no place to run. Stone back at the 17. Jonathan Ford. Kevin Steele bringing some heat that time. This is very impressive defensive performance.
Yeah, Rudy Ford's outstanding in the nickel. He's going to be coming off the edge here. He's got tremendous speed and quickness. He's trying to become the first Auburn player ever to lead the team in tackles 3 straight years.
There's Kevin upstairs in the booth.
What a game he's called, huh?
Done a great job with these kids. He's a lifer. Around coaching. Been with a lot of programs. And a terrific job here tonight. Third and goal. Here comes pressure. Watson throws the end zone against it. And a grab. Touchdown. Renfro. There's DeShaun Watson. When you think of his performance tonight, coming up big on this strike.
He needs to turn around and give Wayne Gallman a huge high five. Wayne Gallman all night has been phenomenal in pass protection. This time he picks up Nick Ruffin coming on the blitz up the middle. Watch this get stoned, and that allows DeShaun Watson to get this football. If he takes a huge shot, arguably late, but Wayne Gallman, I really thought needed to improve his pass protection coming into this year. He's been outstanding in that tonight.
Off the upright. It was whistled down. So still inside of 10 minutes to go, and now it is 19-6. After that extra point hit the upright. Renfro battling for a little daylight. A two-hander. Ford from the 2 to the 23-yard line. Auburn still searching for a touchdown in this game. There's 2 field goals on that board.
Who's playing quarterback for Gus Malzahn right here? Sean White, who started the game, back under center.
Juggled, but good defensive hit that time, and that was Tankersley, the one veteran back there.
Yeah,
in that defensive backfield. When you look just at some of these guys, Shaq Lawson, Kevin Dodd gone the NFL. They lost their 2 top pass rushers, 3 of their defensive backs. Lawson went in the first round of the draft, Dodd in the second. Alexander and Green also went in the second. So they're breaking in a lot of new fellas here. Sean White goes deep, got a man open, complete to the 34, and freshman Kyle Davis from Loganville, Georgia, and he had separated.
The play action froze the free safety, Jadar Johnson. There's a fake reverse. Look at number 18 back here. He kind of gets stuck. He thinks there's the reverse. And that's when Kyle Davis runs right by him. That ball a little bit underthrown, but there's a huge explosive play in the passing game.
John Franklin back on the field. Ghosting straight ahead is Kerryon Johnson. That's been the one play that we know John Franklin knows.
Clemson that time very slow to fill. It's a wide open running lane. Just seems to be a little bit of hesitation. They seem to be on their heels.
2nd and 5. So it'll be 3rd down and short. Wilkins on that stop.
We haven't really seen John Franklin keep the football yet and get a chance to see his speed out in space. Let's see Gus Malzahn see if he can fabricate a way to get this athlete outside one-on-one and really kind of show that off.
Coming down inside of 8 minutes on the game clock. 3rd down and 3. And now it's 4th down and 3. Johnson was stoned on that.
Dexter Lawrence, the true freshman, just ate a double team. They made a play in the backfield. Interior of that line for Clemson continuing to cause havoc. They're going to go for it on 4th.
Sean White will be the quarterback. Got the first down. Hastings. And to the 7-yard line. Number 33, Will Hastings, again working his way open.
Well, Brent, this is a great story. Will Hastings was their backup kicker a year ago. He was an onside kick specialist.
White hands it off this time, and Johnson is met. This will be 2nd down.
Hastings has made some plays. 3 catches tonight. You know, he's a guy in high school, had 49 receiving touchdowns his junior and senior year. This guy's a guy that has a knack for the slot. They get a big play, and there's a spot where Kerryon Johnson, you see Will Hastings lining up in the slot again. He just kind of has that knack for finding open areas and zone coverage, and that's critical in the red zone.
Deflected. Incomplete. And Wilkins got a paw on it.
He's such a good athlete, Brent. And he's been playing defensive end mostly tonight as a 310-pounder. We talked about the fake punt he caught last year against Oklahoma. Understands he's not going to get to the quarterback, so he slows his rush down, fights off a cut block from the right tackle, somehow gets his hand on that football.
Cox checks in. Kyle Davis, the freshman, is off to the left. He made 1 big catch in this game. 3rd down and goal for White. Looks in the freshman's direction. Overthrew it. Incomplete.
One thing Auburn doesn't have is size at wide receiver like Clemson has, like a lot of other teams have. Marcus Davis is 5'9", 180. Ryan Davis, 5'9", 172. They don't just have a guy that can big body and go up over top of a cornerback and make the tough catch. It makes it so much more difficult as a quarterback throwing down here in the red zone when the windows are small. Who can step up here now and make a play for the Auburn Tigers?
4th down and goal. White fires, intercepted at the 1-yard line. Boulware, the ringleader of the defense, Ben Boulware from Anderson, South Carolina, the senior, with the interception, making a huge play. Bingo. Well, the maturing oak trees, huh? After the poisoning killed the old ones, but doesn't look like they're going to be rolled tonight unless this Auburn defense can strike fast. Gallman bounces off a tackler trying to get the edge, and finally ridden down at the 5-yard line by Matthews. .336 yards of offense for Clemson here tonight. 228 yards of it passing by Watson. He's thrown for 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He's 18 of 31. And here he is on 2nd and 7. Handing off to Gallman, who has had a huge night and is closing in on 100 yards.
Let's go back to that interception, Brent. When you get in the red zone, timing is critical. These windows open and close so fast, and Sean White was late. You look at this play, he's got Stanton Truitt right here. He's got to throw this ball now to the outside. You're going to see Sean White, he kind of double clutches. He's eyeballing the throw, and Ben Boulware is just too much of a veteran. He jumps all over that and makes the key interception. Another fantastic play by Clemson's defense.
3rd down and 4 for one of the Heisman Trophy favorites this year. I don't think he's going to get it. Well, is he out of bounds? Let's see what happened. Incomplete is the ruling.
Anyway. Yeah. And again, Auburn's defense stepping up and making plays.
Great performance by the
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, you know, I think it'd be easy as a defensive player to kind of look out and see the offense struggling and just kind of just get down and just ask yourself, you know, how much more do we have to do? But they keep answering the bell. They keep taking the field against what many believe to be the most talented offense in the country, and they keep making plays.
Well, here we go now. Marcus Davis is back. Need a couple of touchdowns to pull off the upset inside of 5 minutes. Not much time. Been in the red zone 3 times. There's a penalty flag flying. They haven't been able to record a touchdown. Depending on the penalty, this could be pretty good field position coming up here at the 4:44 mark.
Legal formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty will be assessed at the end of the run. First down.
Excellent, excellent field position as a result of that. If Auburn is going to jump back in, they've got to strike in this next series. They are down a couple of scores here. DeShaun White will take the snap. And off on the end around. Johnson was lined up over there, and they brought him around as a ball carrier. And if they could just strike for a quick touchdown, give a chance here.
Well, Kerryon Johnson's had his most success in the zone read game with John Franklin and on these jet sweeps.
There's that fake. They tried that pass once before. Receiver covered, and helmet comes off of the quarterback, and I believe that means he's got to come out right now. And Lamar has got to come out to the sideline for a play, and that means Franklin is dashing in from the sideline. He's handed off on all of his plays.
Yeah, we haven't seen
second
him throw
down
yet,
and
you're
12.
Right. We haven't even seen him run with the ball yet. I just think with his
now he's over on the
athleticism.
wing. Going to be a direct snap to Chandler Cox. He's going to hand it off and still get the ball back into Johnson's hands. And a lot of eye candy, but not much of a result. And here's your third down.
And which of these receivers can step up and win one-on-one in a big situation like this? We talked about them not having great size, but number 80, Marcus Davis, he's kind of their go-to guy. He's not their biggest receiver. He's down here at the bottom of the screen, matched up against Tankersley. He's a guy that just has a knack for making plays.
A lot of time. Can't find the open man. And incomplete to Slayton.
It's a penalty flag too, Brent.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 10. Penalty is half the distance. First down.
That gives life to this Clemson offense again. Dabo Swinney saying, you got to think. You're a senior. You're one of our leaders. There's no need for this. Throws it away, and Bulwer just kind of gives him that shot way out of bounds. Just those mental mistakes that drive coaches crazy.
So 4 consecutive possessions now in the red zone for Auburn.
Jeremy Johnson lined up at wide receiver in the Wildcat down here.
We're going to bring him in motion. And carry on for the goal line. Touchdown alive. Underdog Auburn strikes with a huge touchdown. Much bigger for some than others.
And just the fake reverse by Jeremy Johnson just froze this defense. Watch these 3 defenders over here. They just take a split second late to get outside, and that allowed all those blockers from Auburn to get their angles for Auburn's first offensive touchdown of the game.
Daniel Carlson alive. Maybe I spoke too soon about tumors. Arm up, everybody. Got a chance. Now we're going to see the Heisman Trophy favorite. What can DeShaun Watson do? Hand's team is out for Clemson at the 3:22 mark. Let's see if they want to come up. Remember, they got burned with an onside kick in that Alabama game, and they're spread wide on the flanks this time. Carlson booms it away and says, all right, take it on the 25. Our defense is doing great. Let's go down below to Cayley.
Well, guys, through the offseason, Gus Malzahn wasn't shy about saying that he thought his defensive line could be the best in the country. Now, his defensive coordinator, Kevin Steele, wouldn't go that far when we talked to him yesterday, as he said he still needed to see this unit play a game together. But Kevin Steele, a guy whose career has spanned more than 30 years, through stops in 3 different conferences and the NFL, says he has never had a defensive line to coach with this much depth and this much skill among that depth. We've seen they haven't made it easy for Clemson's offense tonight.
Well, let's see what they've got left. They've pulled to within 6. There's Gallman again, pushed out of bounds as he gets ever closer to 100 yards tonight.
Kayla, you talked about that depth they have. Kevin Steele believes he can go 10 deep on the defensive line. In a game like this, with the tempo Clemson likes to run, they've used a lot of different bodies, and they've been able to stay fresh. Big reason why they've been able to be as dominant as they've been.
3 minutes. They're bringing that clock down. Precious seconds. 2nd and 4. DeShaun continues to milk it. Steps away from trouble, takes off, got a first down. A nifty first down at the 2:39 mark.
That's that foot quickness from DeShaun Watson. It looked like he was going to get stopped in the backfield by DeShaun Davis at linebacker, having a phenomenal game. Just makes some miss, the sidestep, the L1 button. Dangerous runner. He's got all the tools in the toolbox to make it difficult on opposing defenses. And a huge first down that, because of that great effort, bleeds this clock even more.
Down toward the 2 minutes remaining here. Auburn desperate for a stop. Clemson going to keep this ball on the ground. They're going to keep this clock moving.
If you're Gus Malzahn, you got to start thinking about using timeouts, and he's using one right now.
Timeout, Auburn.
In a defensive war here at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Game clock starts on the snap. Batted away, and that stops the clock. I'm a little bit surprised. Davis did a good job there.
Clemson had bump and run coverage across the board. You'd expect them to run, but because of the matchup in a one-on-one with Mike Williams, they try again for the back shoulder. But this time, phenomenal coverage by Carlton Davis on the outside, and DeShaun Watson takes a huge shot from Mr. Lawson. And you're right, Brent, stopping the clock. How big of a third down is this? Carl Lawson rushing from DeShaun Watson's right side.
Throwing again downfield there. Williams makes the catch on the sideline and out of bounds. What a big gamble, and they pull it off.
You've seen tonight how different Mike Williams makes this Clemson offense. This back shoulder throw virtually has been unstoppable all day long. You know, Auburn, there's nothing more that Carlton Davis can do. They've got their best cover guy on him, and that's very, very good coverage. It's just very hard to locate the football on these back shoulder throws, and Mike Williams doing a nice job of just staying in bounds, converting yet another first down.
On 3rd and 7, a 20-yard gain for Watson, who's now thrown for 248 yards. Now they come back, and here's Gallman to daylight. Hurdles to the 23-yard line.
That puts Gallman over the 100-yard mark himself. It's going to be tough, Brent, for defenses throughout the ACC to have to handle Clemson this year, because you got to pick to do one thing: either double cover Mike Williams and get left open to being run on by Gallman, or you load the box and leave yourself susceptible to one-on-ones. But There's a lot of ACC defensive coordinators, I think, watching this game tonight, and they're shaking their head.
1:41 to go, and pounding away to put away their first win of this season. And the timeout, that's the last one, I believe, for Auburn in this game.
Third final timeout. 30 seconds.
It's very, very early. Lots of football to be played. It's not to say any of those teams are out of the playoff necessarily, but I still think we did learn a lot of things today.
Thrown back here at the minute-and-a-half mark, and third down comes up. Davidson in the midst of that defensive effort.
I think we learned a lot about Clemson today, Brent. I think their big question mark was defense. And we don't know yet how good of an offense Auburn is. We're going to have to wait for more games to be played to figure that out. But so far, Brent Venables' side of the ball answering the bell again.
I'm kicking a field goal if I'm Clemson on fourth down in this game.
So 3rd and 10, I think that timeout.
Yeah, Auburn's out of timeouts, too. So here's Gallman. They get him out of bounds at the 45-second mark with Davis. Now it's going to be up to Dabo to decide what to do here. It doesn't look like he can have anything to do with a field goal on this fourth down. Leads it by 6. Gallman, then the workhorse, and so the ball goes back to Auburn with 40 seconds remaining. You're going to have a lot of second guessing. Should Auburn come up with a miracle on that?
I agree
because
with
putting
you.
it on 9 is a vastly different thing. Now, having said that, there's no indication that we have seen that Auburn is going to be able to, in 40 seconds, no timeouts, march 75 yards for a touchdown. We just not have seen that explosiveness out of this offense, but you never know.
So you hear Dabo Swinney there telling his defense, look, they've got no timeouts. Make tackles in bounds. Keep the football in front of you in this prevent defense.
White's going to throw back off the fake, and then out of bounds is Truitt. Down to 34 seconds remaining.
Remember 2013, Auburn had all those miracles in them. It almost seems like a team destined to make it to the national title game. Or that play against Georgia, tip. They had one of those last year against Alabama in the Iron Bowl. I wonder if they got some magic in them here.
Second down. The clock is important right now. Overthrew his receiver. Would have had a first down and makes it down number 3.
And it's an offense, Brent, that's not conducive to having to play catch-up throwing the ball. They want to be a run-first team, and last year, not very efficient throwing it. They haven't been overly efficient throwing it in this game either. This is just not the comfort zone for DeShaun White in this offense.
Third and 2. Making a first down, quick stop, and they've got to hurry. They've got 23 seconds. They're going to stop it. White's got to get him up to the line now. And they're going to clock it. You know, that's a situation where you like your quarterback to come up and run something, to be in charge of things out there. You know what I'm saying, Jesse?
I'll tell you what. I think DeShaun White, the best throws he makes are these in-breaking routes. And in these prevent defenses, there's a lot of holes over the middle of the field for DeShaun White to exploit.
Carry on next to him.
There it is again.
Got middle open. Here we come. Marcus Davis down now to 16 seconds.
The good news is you've at least now given yourself a chance to throw one into the end zone if you're Auburn.
Clock it again.
And there's always, you know, the theory on defense. You've had so much success all game long getting after Auburn's quarterbacks. Brent Venables likes to bring pressure. All of a sudden, you take your foot off the gas, you go into these prevent defenses, and all of a sudden, DeShaun White's carving you up. For Brent Venables, if you decide here just to mix it up and start bringing guys.
White going deep, got men open, incomplete.
But that got scary for a second because 2 Auburn receivers were in the end zone versus only 1 DB. Clemson let a bunch of guys just run right by them. That could have been disastrous for Clemson. Check this out down the sideline. Look, there's 2 Auburn players on 1 defender. That's a great effort there by Jadar Johnson. Knocked that football away.
Prevent defense is set again at the 6-second mark. They can show a quick sideline and out, maybe give themselves 3 seconds on the last play. Got to hurry now. Time's running out. You got to throw it. Clock's running out. Shows 0-0. End zone. Air. Jump ball. Knocked down and away. Clemson hangs on. Johnson again. Number 18. Did what a safety should do in this situation. Bat that ball to the ground.
And Brent, he batted it down twice. This is a phenomenal effort by Johnson. He went up, got the first touch on the football, then spiked it on the ground. Watch number 18 come here from the left-hand side. Up he goes. Gets a swat at it. Does the smart thing and knocks it on the ground. Wow.
Just thought for a second he might have had some magic. But he comes up a 6-point loser. 19-13. So much action today. Time to give you all the highlights and updates. As we send it to SportsCenter, here's Scott Van Pelt.